What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be having a playoff preview about the Winnipeg Jets versus the Colorado Avalanche, as they will be in a first round series playing off against each other in just over a week's time here, and it is going to be electric. It's going to be a bloodbath, I have no doubt. The Jets played the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche in their last two games at the time of making this video, outscored them 10-0, beat the Avalanche 7-0. It was a cold-hearted beatdown, by the Winnipeg Jets on the Avs, and they're playing some of the best hockey they've played all season. Now, this is big, winning 6 straight, we're just about at playoff time. The only thing that's left undecided between the Jets and the Avs going into this playoff series is who's going to have home ice advantage. The Jets hold the tiebreaker. They're a point up on the Avs right now. 2 games remaining. Jets hold their destiny there and could clinch home ice advantage with a win in their next game. But without further ado, let's get on into this preview. Let's take a look at the Winnipeg Jets and what they're working with first. We'll start with the forward lines: Kyle O'Connor, Mark Scheifele, Gabe Vilardi on the first line. Second line being Nikolai Ehlers, Sean Monahan, and Tyler Toffoli. Third line, usually Nino Niederreiter in David Gustafson's spot, but he's holding down the fourth there currently. Adam Lowry and Mason Appleton, and the fourth line being Morgan Barron, Vladislav Nemesnikov, and Alex Iafallo, with Cole Perfetti being the 13th forward. So many of these players have had big years, right? With Gabe Vilardi coming in the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade, he's arguably been the most important Winnipeg Jet. Nikolai Ehlers has been the best Winnipeg Jet 5-on-5, no doubt. Sean Monahan has come in to really help out the power play. Tyler Toffoli was a huge addition, come the trade deadline. That was one where I really started to believe that this team could make a deep run. Alex Iafallo has been a great depth piece. Mason Appleton gets a lot of shit, but he's played really good this season. To be honest with you, Nemesnikov, just a great Swiss Army knife. Barron, sneakily good, depth scorer, hard checker. He's just a monster. Gustafson's just really great depth. When he's gotten a chance this year, he's looked really good, especially on this line with Adam Lowry late in the year. And, speaking of Adam Lowry, what a season he's had, right? He's been a monster all year long, super consistent. Mark Scheifele, Kyle O'Connor doing what they do. This is a very deep Winnipeg Jets forward core, and one that Colorado is going to have a real hard time with, I believe. Now, if we look on defense, this may be Winnipeg's weak point, right? We've got Josh Norris. We know what he does. He's a monster, paired with his longtime partner, Dylan DeMello. Really no worries about those guys. Josh Morrissey can take over games. We've seen it this year. He can win games by himself. He's a very scary player back there. He's a monster. Brendan Dillon, big physical force, partnered with Neil Pionk. Neil Pionk is a guy I'm actually a little bit worried for, with playing the Colorado Avalanche and them being such a rush-focused team. Speed off the rush is something that Neil Pionk does not handle well. We'll see how he does going forward here, but if Winnipeg is going to beat the Avalanche, they need to shut down the rush. I'll, talk about that more later. Logan Stanley, same kind of thing, has played some of his best hockey he's ever played in his career, in the last, couple weeks or so heading into the playoffs. He's actually been very good, so hats off to Logan Stanley. Didn't know he was capable of play of this, but at the end of the day, bottom pairing defenseman. We'll see how he does in the playoffs, and I hope that he can continue the, just solid, consistent play. Dylan Samberg, this guy's awesome, man. This guy has been so underrated and so under-talked about all season long. Mr. Consistent, playing really well with Logan Stanley. That pairing has been great, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the playoffs. I hope it continues. And then in goal, we've got Connor Hellebuyck and Laurent Brossoit, the most disgusting, dangerous, lights-out goaltending duo of the year in the NHL. This is a duo that has dominated all season long. Connor Hellebuyck, another banner year for him, the undisputed Vezina winner. He will be walking away with the Vezina trophy this year. Massive year for him. 5 shutouts, a 2.38 goals against average, and a 9.22 save percentage. Hats off to Connor Hellebuyck, man. You could even see him get some hard votes. I think that, oh my God, he's been so good this season. Laurent Brossoit, same thing, man. 3 shutouts, combined 8 shutouts for these two guys this year. They have been so consistent, so steady at an elite level. Hey, you don't see this very often. What a duo. Now I'm going to go talk about the Colorado Avalanche, and then we're going to go compare the Winnipeg Jets and the Avalanche and how they stack up against each other. We're going to be talking about the forward core here first, as Jonathan Drouin, Nathan MacKinnon, and Arturi Lehkonen make up the first line. Nichushkin, Middlestat, and then Rantanen Third line is Miles Wood, Ross Colton, and Brandon Duhaime. And then the fourth line is Andrew Cogliano, Yakov Trenin, and Zach Parise. Now keep in mind, this is the Gabe Landeskoglis, Colorado Avalanche. They've got a lot of star power on this team. Nathan MacKinnon headlining it with Mikko Rantanen, Casey Middlestat, Nichushkin. Very solid players. I don't know if they're as deep as the Jets are talent-wise on this forward core, though. They're very top-heavy, in my opinion. Drouin, McKinnon, and Lehkonen, very good line. McKinnon and Drouin this year have just been money together. Drouin kind of, revitalizing his career, if you will. Tough time in Montreal, looks very good with Colorado. On the second line, Casey Middlestat is brought in for Bowen Byram at the deadline. That was their big swing, much needed center depth for them. So big pickup for them. Mikko Rantanen, monster, one of the best players in the NHL, playing with Nichushkin there on the second line. The bottom six is more grindy than talented, in my opinion. And yes, you need grit in the playoffs. And Ross Colton, very good player for the Avs. Great 3C, but with Brandon Duhaime and Miles Wood, I don't know if that's as good as, maybe a Niederreiter, Lowry, and Appleton line is. I think that, this line could potentially have trouble with the Jets' top six if that is to be their, quote-unquote shutdown line. The fourth line just really doesn't do it for me. I mean, Cogliano, Trenin, and Parise. Parise is a shell of what he once was, just a veteran two-way forward at this point, maybe a little bit of depth scoring. Cogliano, still a very good player, fast, and Trenin is just there to bang bodies, right? This forward core, I don't know if it's as good as the Winnipeg Jets. It's for sure not as deep, but, you can argue that McKinnon and maybe Rantanen, catch them up in that department just because of the star power. But that's just my opinion on the forwards. Now, if we head over on defense, I think this is where Colorado really shines, right? They have Devon Toews and Cale Makar. That's arguably one of the best defensive pairings in the NHL. All know about Cale Makar, going to be a monster for a long time, probably a future Hall of Famer, playing with Devon Toews, who is, once again, probably one of the more underrated defensemen in the NHL. He's a beast. Sean Walker on the second pairing they're acquired from Philadelphia. I really liked him. I wanted the Jets to acquire him. He joins Josh Manson there on the second pair. That's a really tough second pairing. And then third pairing is Caleb Jones and Jack Johnson, a very, inoffensive third pairing, just putting them out there to do what they do. Don't allow anything crazy to happen, and that's their job there. But this defense core for Colorado is very strong. This is without Samuel Girard as well. He should be ready to go for playoff time, so it just keeps getting scarier for Colorado, and I do think that this defense core edges out Winnipeg's pretty easily. Now we're going to look at the goaltending situation for the Avs. Georgiev and Anunanen, I believe that's how you say it. This duo, I just don't see how they can get it done unless they go on some weird run, right? Georgiev this year, 38, 18, and 5, and that sounds great until you look at the goals against average of 3.02 and a save percentage of 897. Not good enough. And the Jets blew him up on the, just a couple days ago at the time of making this video in that 7-0 win. Anunanen came in and they lit him up too. This is by far the biggest weakness that Colorado has, their goaltending, and I think that this is something that could really hurt them in the playoffs, because even if McKinnon goes nuts and scores, 3 goals, goes crazy with Mikko Rantanen, is it enough? Is it enough? Can Georgiev handle 30 shots a night from Winnipeg? Is he going to be able to do that? I'm not so sure. These two teams are teams that I can see holding the Stanley Cup. I don't think that there's an easy out here. I don't think there's an easy out in the entire Western Conference come playoff time. It is going to be a grueling matchup between these two, and the way that I see the Winnipeg Jets being able to beat the Colorado Avalanche is shut down the rush. I was talking about this earlier. If they can shut down the speed and shut down the quick hitting offense of the Colorado Avalanche, I think it's going to be a problem for them. It showed in the last game that they had played in the regular season. The Jets were smothering the Avalanche, and they really had no answers on offense. The Jets were really controlling play, cycling, and I just don't really think they have the quality of depth to keep up with the Jets if they're able to shut down the rush. I don't think that Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen alone can win this series against the Jets. It is going to be really hard, and I think they're going to have to score a lot of goals, and I don't know if they can do that on Connor Hellebuck. I think Alexander Georgiev is a big problem for the Colorado Avalanche, and I think that he may be exposed in this series. Now, if you look at how Colorado can beat the Jets, I think they have to score early. If they can get up on the Jets early and get them to break up that structure a little bit, get away from their game, I think that gives them the best shot at winning, because I don't think they have the defensive depth to keep up, right? I do think that the Jets defense core is good enough and very solid. However, you know, if Colorado is able to open up the rush lanes, beat the Jets with speed, we've seen Stanley and Pionk deal with players like that before. It's just not very good. Even Dylan to an extent, right? So Colorado definitely has the star power to open up the lanes, bring the offense, and definitely bring the intensity. We'll see if the Jets defense can keep up with it. That is the preview. That is what I see heading into this one. It's going to be very fun, very intense. I'm already stressed out. Playoffs haven't even started, don't start for a week, but I have the Jets in 6 games beating the Colorado Avalanche. Maybe a little bit bold, but I have the Jets beating Colorado, and I think it's going to shock a lot of people. I think they're a better team than a lot of people give them credit for. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below what you guys think. What are your predictions? How are the Jets going to win this series? How are the Avalanche going to win this series? Right? I want to hear from you guys down below. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Let's go. Bye-bye.